It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
What is happening, everybody? And once again, Uncle Chris, Wild Will, getting you caffeinated for the rest of your week into the weekend. It's time for a cup of coffee right here at Slumberland at the lake. And Chris, we got another good show for them today. Casinos, and not just the Osage Nation casinos, lots of casinos we'll talk about today.
Yeah, it's getting hot and heavy with the casino stuff, both the Osage Nation and now folks in Missouri trying to find a way around the Constitution to get in here as well. So that's interesting.
You think someone's trying to sabotage my life and my career? First they bring in all these bars and grills, Macadoodles just moved in, so you already want to dap with Will's drinking problem. Then you bring in casinos. Oh boy, they're really trying to sabotage me. Who's behind this?
I don't know, man.
Dennis Klotzer, is that you? So we'll talk about that also. Some unnecessary alarming and panicking and concern around a need for a permit in the city of Osage Beach for your hot water heater and HVAC system, which seemed peculiar. So we talked with current Mayor Oliver Ree to touch base on that. Also, Slumberland up for Best of the Lake. We'll tell you about that and how you can vote for the best furniture, mattress, and bed store at the lake, which is obviously Slumberland.
Right here, baby.
At the lake. And speaking of Slumberland, the President's Sale, yes, President's Day is come and gone, but they've extended their sale through March. So to tell you a little bit more, my man, Daryl Cunningham.
Hey everyone, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We had a great President's Day weekend sale, but it's held over for a couple more weeks. Come see us, take advantage of our 25% off and 60 months no interest financing right here at Slumberland Furniture to the Lake, where we're bringing happy home.
All right, time to get right into it. First, we're going to follow up on the last couple of weeks and really last month plus on the Osage Nation casino development here at Lake of the Ozarks. Three things we want to go over. First, City of Lake Ozark Mayor Dennis Newberry. He issued a letter and he overviewed some of the things he had been talking with. And really, he put 5 bullets in that letter. Really diligent, really impressive. And those 5 things kind of make it look like Mayor Newberry may be pro Osage Nation Casino.
Yeah, it looks like it. He put out this letter. He says, I met with the Bagnell Dam Association of Realtors Task Force and representatives of the Osage Nation. I want to thank the task force members for offering a lot of questions that we've asked here on this show. You know, is it good for the community? Is it bad for the community? How about infrastructure? How about different things? So apparently they went over all of that, the task force and the Osage Nation. And in his letter, Mayor Newberry says, so what did we learn? And these are the 5 points. Number 1, Osage Nation was awarded $2.5 million grant from the Substance Abuse and Medical Health Administration in 2018, right? So for those worried about gaming abuse, gambling abuse and stuff like that, so kind of addresses that Osage Nation has tried to pony up to try and fight that.
That to me shows that for the ones, like you said, that may be concerned about not just gambling addiction, but that can sometimes segue into alcohol abuse, drug addiction.
Yeah.
You get into this bottomless pit. They want to put a plan in place, and they've got the funding and the grant money to be proactive to prevent that from happening. So that's one pro, according to Mayor Newberry.
That's point number 1. Point number 2 was rural communities that give gaming have largely been impacted in a positive way. And again, it sounded like Mayor Newberry's kind of on board with this in the way he's laying this out. The third point, although Indian gaming is not subject to sales and real estate taxes, the Osage Nation has historically given back to the communities that they do have a casino in. So again, puts a positive spin on that. The fourth point is process to gain the right to develop a casino within the Lake of the Ozarks is largely the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the Department of the Interior. Eventually, here's how he worded his letter, which is so positive. He said, eventually a compact will be agreed to with the state of Missouri, which will define some of the funding that will come to the state from the development. This process is well underway with the hope that a temporary facility could be open for business within the next couple years.
Yeah, when he says temporary facility, I think that we saw the the casino license they applied for would only allow certain table games and bingo. That could be what he's referring to.
I would think so,
temporary,
too.
but yeah, you're right. It does look like he's on board. Now, when it said, we want to go back to the third bullet, it said that, even though they aren't subject to sales and real estate taxes, that they do give back, and they do that in the form of, in lieu of taxes, they give payments known as pilots. These give back to a community nonprofit that will have discretion on where to distribute the funds. Now, it all kind of become inside that compact, how they agree those pilots or those payments. Like, okay, so if they decide annually that, okay, so this is what we project we're going to do annually in gross revenue. So the 25 to 30% state federal sales tax that would go to the local municipalities and the state level, it would equate to something like this. So we want to get real close with those pilots to make up that amount. But in that compact, it's going to have to decide, because it's not under the direction of state or local funding or municipalities, they're going to have to predetermine where that money goes.
I thought
You're talking millions of dollars sitting there. They're going to have to determine, does it go to Road and Bridge? Does it go to help with police force? Does it go to help with healthcare? Where does it go, all of that money? Does it go to the schools?
And that's going to be important too. I mean, the infrastructure, the roads, all that stuff. If they do build this, there's going to be a whole lot more traffic, a whole lot more need for all of this. So that pilot money is going to be important. I'm just fascinated that he says eventually a compact is going to be agreed on with the state of. It's like for the mayor, this is already a fait accompli.
It almost seems like it's inevitable at this point with the way they're moving forward. And of course, right after this or right around the same timeline, we actually saw our first look at renderings for the property. And as you see those here on your screen, those are actually provided by Osage Nation. And you see not just the outside, how that would look from the water, from the air there, but you see inside what the rooms look like, similar to a downstream casino or a Isla Capri, just as far as the rooms. Yeah, they're nice, but it's kind of what you expect from a casino lodging. I mean, the goal is not to go there and stay. They want to get people in there eating, spending money, and gambling on the floor. So those rooms look nice, but those are the first look at the renderings. And of course, right about the same time, the actual Osage Nation CEO sends a letter to Lake Expo.
Yeah.
It says, hey, you guys have been covering this. We're well aware. Now, you guys did say this. However, there's other things you need to know. And this was directly from the CEO, Chris.
Yeah, he said this initiative includes a new hotel complex that will feature a casino, restaurants, entertainment, more, expected to be completed in multiple phases. So it's not all just going to, be up in 1 year. They're going to do this part of it in the first year or two, then they'll be adding on to it. He also says Osage River Gaming. That's not the Osage Indian, that's other people trying to come in with a casino. He said Osage River Gaming faces long, if any, odds.
Strong statement there.
Right, yeah. The path forward for Osage Nation, which is his group, of course, is quite different. He says Congress has already authorized this type of gaming we are planning for Osage Beach. No state constitutional amendment is required, which the other folks would need, which we will get into more momentarily. They're trying to change the Constitution now to make that happen. So it's just fascinating on the information that's come out in the last few days of how inevitable this is. It's like we're moving ahead. This is happening.
And for the lead of the Osage Nation, for their CEO to come out and write this letter to Lake Expo. He wants to get ahead of it. He wants to address some of these things, some of these concerns, and he even went into, and you can see this entire letter on lakeexpo.com, but they talk about who their Osage Nation, who they are, what they do, how they're regulated, are they successful?
Yeah, when he talks about, we're currently operating 7 casinos in Oklahoma, of which 3 are attached to hotels. There was a couple of them just over the Oklahoma border that a lot of people from DFW go to, including one in Durant, which looks almost exactly like those renderings that they sent out this week. So it looks like they're kind of going to copy what they did there. He says they employ 1,300 people at their casinos, only 10% of those members of the Osage Nation. So they hire 90% of their employees outside of Osage Nation, which would mean a lot of jobs.
Nearly 1,200 local jobs if it were the same size complex. Now, what all you guys care about, I think, Chris, is right here on their plans to support the lake area, because that's really been the fight back, the pushback,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Said they plan on employing 120 local community members.
Like you just said, that's huge.
Right about here.
And good paying jobs,
Well,
right?
he says the jobs pay between $35,000 and $150,000.
Sign me up.
So a lot of money there, right?
Sign me up, baby.
And that's per year. Attractive health, retirement bonus, educational benefits. Anticipated payroll of $7 million annually will cause, a lot of added spending at the lake. $7 million more dollars into the economy. And if you want to know how much money Osage Nation has, they also put that in this letter. Byron Bighorse, by the way, is the chief executive officer of Osage Nation. He says, we are on sound financial footing. Osage casinos have retired $130 million in debt because they were building all those casinos up in Oklahoma. It costs money to build those. So he says we've retired $130 million of debt over the last 5 years in additional funding, cash operating reserve that exceeds our indebtedness. So basically, they're not in debt. Basically, they have money.
That's $26 million a year. Over the last 5 years, they were able to knock off that debt, meaning there is some serious revenue coming into the Osage Nation and their properties. That's big, but I thought it was a good move. We kind of talked about, Chris, what's their strategy here? Are they going to come in and play it slow? Are they going to try to win over the community? But heck, you see renderings. You got an overwhelming endorsement from the mayor from the city of Lake Ozark, and now the CEO issues a letter trying to tell the lake area how this is going to be a good thing. And then right after that, he did mention the Osage River Gaming, not to be confused with Osage Nation. Osage River Gaming, you've heard that name a few times because they've had conversations and we've seen articles about them wanting to put a riverboat gambling establishment similar to you see in Ozark on the Osage, Missouri, Mississippi River. Well, a new bill in the state of Missouri could see that come to fruition.
Yeah, and so the Osage Nation, since they're a sovereign nation in their own right, they don't have to play by the same rules as everybody else, right?
That falls under the Missouri Gaming and the state of Missouri statute and regulations.
So, and as everybody knows, there's a whole lot of people outside of Osage Nation that have been trying to get a casino here for a long time. Current state constitution hasn't allowed that. So, a bill filed in the Missouri House is they're trying to open the door for a long-planned casino other than from the Osage Nation. It's House Joint Resolution 127. It would ask Missourians to amend the state constitution, allowing excursion gambling boats on or near the Osage River between Bagnell Dam and the confluence of where Osage flows into the Missouri River, right? So right now, according to the state constitution, casinos can only be on the Missouri and the Mississippi rivers, right? Yeah, nothing outside of that. So they would have to amend the state constitution to allow casino gambling on the Osage River between Bagnell Dam and where it flows into the Missouri, which is right up by Jeff City, I think.
Yeah, and they would have to, when you say rewrite the Missouri Constitution, right now it is only allowed 13 riverboat gambling establishments in the state of Missouri. We're at that. We're at the max. That's why this Osage Nation story threw everybody for a loop, because you're like, wait, we've already seen the Osage River Gaming has tried and they failed. They've gotten rejected. It stayed at 13. Well, the difference with Osage Nation, we've told you about being a sovereign nation, don't follow the rules. Well, now Osage River Gaming says, okay, well, how can we get the rules changed so we can still make this work? This would go on the ballot for November, but I don't know how likely, Chris, this is to happen. I'm too ignorant at this point in time. I did not get an opportunity to talk with Mike Lira, the chairman for Missouri Gaming. By the time we recorded, I hadn't heard back from him. But I am interested because, man, all of this kind of in this short amount of time, the Osage Nation definitely looks like they're going forward. Yeah. And now potentially could the state of Missouri increase that quota, that limit from 13 to 14? Because then that would open the door.
Yeah, it would. And that's obviously what the gaming people outside of the Osage Indian Nation are trying to. I mean, they've seen Osage Nation come in and they've got pretty much a green light and an open road, you know, and so they're going, wow, we need to we need to figure something out. There is a possibility we'll have more than one casino. If they're able to do this and change the Missouri state constitution, open the door for a casino somewhere between Bagnell Dam and Jeff City on the Osage River, you could have the one on land that Osage Nation is putting in Osage Beach, and then this one on the river as well. But the one on the river still a ways off. They've got a lot of work to do to change the Constitution.
Long road, low odds, and that was said by, CEO for Osage Nation. I wonder if this were to come to fruition, even if it's 3, 5, 10 years down the road, does that then set a precedent where other people could come in, or could Osage River Gaming put an additional one further down the river with closer proximity to the city? I mean, so really it just opens the door, and I don't see currently this coming to fruition. I really don't. And it's not like I'm an expert. That 13 has been strict. There's been a lot of people come and try to get that changed, putting in requests, making promises to areas, therefore trying to prove their casino would be a good thing. The reason Osage Nation is different is because they're a sovereign nation.
Absolutely.
And they can file for that exemption, which they have not yet, although they are going to from all things we've heard.
Well, and in that story, it says the Osage Nation, being a sovereign nation, is not subject to Missouri's casino restrictions. Thus, Osage Casinos is not required to build a casino near a body of water. Again, being the Osage Nation, they don't have to play by the same rules.
Right.
They have to play by some rules because they have to put a compact together, and the Department of the Interior and all that has to go with them. But hey, they've got 7 casinos already in Oklahoma. They know how to do this, and they're probably going to get this done.
You know what I take away from all this? Somebody really is trying to sabotage me. That's the last thing I need, is a casino that close. I already have a hard time not driving to Boonville 4 times a week. Now you're going to tell me I can walk down to the strip and potentially throw a rocket in it? That's not going to be good.
Life is a gamble, man.
Yeah, that's
there you
true.
go.
All right, so as we move on, a lot of you guys probably caught some of the storm on Facebook. There was a post in regards to the city of Osage Beach, hot water heaters, HVAC systems, and needing a permit.
What was up with that?
I mean, it is and I'll give you the exacts. So it is it is a permit. You have to get a new permit if you get a new system installed in the city limits, whether it's HVAC or a hot water heater. Now, this caused
just in Osage Beach?
City of Osage Beach.
City of Osage Beach. Okay.
Caused a panic. It is being addressed. Now, the City of Osage Beach, once this Facebook post was posted, they did come out and shared this post you see on your screen, and they linked a list to facts and misconceived answers to some popular questions. That list you could also see on your screen. Now, it would appear a lot of people in the comments that I was looking through hadn't even read this list, because you saw a lot of unnecessary panic, such as, oh my goodness, what happens? I come down on a Friday night, my hot water heater, my HVAC system is down. I got to wait till Monday or Tuesday when I can get a hold of somebody to even get my permit, therefore I can get an install. Not the case. So I did get to talk to Mayor John Oliver with the city of Osage Beach, and he kind of gave me a timeline of how all this came. Okay, so City of Osage Beach building official Ron White brought to an alderman meeting in July the International Building Code updates. Now, that is the international building codes across not just the country, but internationally, as they see different things come up. And they made recommendations to the Board of Aldermen and to Mayor Oliver to stay compliant within these new codes. HVAC and hot water heater were part of that. They understood those were probably going to be a little touchier, so everything else went into effect in July with 2 readings. Their intent was to wait to implement the hot water heater and the HVAC permit until January 1st, 2022. That gave them 4.5 months and some change for Ron White, the City of Osage Beach building official, to go out and talk to contractors, people that deal with hot water heaters, people that deal with HVAC on a daily basis, and figure out if this was going to be an issue or if this was necessary. And the general consensus was it was not a bad thing. It's already taken place in some areas. So they did 2 readings there. First reading published in the board minutes, second reading published in the board minutes. Opportunity for an opposition to come in and state their stance. However, I asked him, I said, so is there reasons that this was put into place, and he said, yes, there were some situations where they saw the pressure valves were incorrectly installed on a hot water heater, and when you get that kind of hot water build up and it finally blows, it's not necessarily the hot water temperature, it's the pressure it takes somebody's arm off. And he said, and so you're still able to do your own, install your own, you're still able to do those things, you just need to get an inspect. So the biggest concern was, what happens if I come down on Friday, and if you look at that list of answered questions, you go ahead, you get it installed, get yourself, your family taken care of, and then do your diligence, and in the next business day, Mayor Oliveri says, or in this, actually it's this list, says, no, in such situation, paperwork, permitting, and inspections can be completed the following business day as stated within the adopted codes, or as soon as practicable or doable, depending on the circumstances. So as a business owner, if something happens on Friday and you need to get it taken care of, and you get it taken care of, and you contact the city Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you finally get it taken care of, I don't think there's going to be punishment there. They even left some gray area there so you weren't out of code. But it did raise some concerns for locals, and it did have people asking, why in the Sam heck would you have to get a permit? And the only answer I really got from the city and Mayor Oliveri was that safety. It could be a potential safety risk. So what do you take from this?
Yeah, to me, it's, you can look at it both ways. People joke about being in the Ozarks and things done, unprofessionally or, just thrown together and stuff like that. And certainly that does happen. But, almost in every circumstance, I like to see government stay out of people's business. So now government is regulating your water heater. It's like, give us a freaking break kind of thing. So, I kind of see a safety thing why you can say, yeah, we need to do this. But again, I usually fall along the lines of, just keep government out of our business.
And I was waiting for, maybe there's been something with numerous improperly installed hot water heaters or HVAC system that have caused for fires. We've seen a lot of fires over the last 3-4 years. And then at that point in time, maybe that makes sense. Yeah. It didn't sound like it. They did name, Mayor Oliveri did give me a couple of instances, but this did come again from the International Building Code updates, and it was put into a board meeting, recommended for the city to stay compliant. That's what I got, just relaying that information, but is interesting, and they did say they will be addressing this and bringing this up at their next Board of Aldermen meeting in a couple of weeks.
Well, and there is elections coming up too, and I'm sure this might become an issue in the elections too. Is it an April election?
I'm not sure.
I think it is.
If it's an April election for the Osage Beach City Mayor. I do. I think it is the early April ballot. We'll clarify. Don't take our words for that. We've got all of the forums coming up on Lake TV, March 21st, 25th, and then of course we'll have another one in July for the Camden County Commission. But on to, you guys have seen it, Best of the Lake is here through Lake News Online and Slumberland at the Lake. No surprise, they're a finalist for Best Place to Shop and Buy Your Beds and Mattresses, which I can speak on that. My bed and mattress are from right here, and the only reason I'm so pretty is because of the beautiful sleep I get every night. And then also Best Place to Buy Furniture. Both of our houses completely stocked Slumberland furniture. I know a lot of you guys watching love it, and it's cool. Go on, you can vote right now. Voting goes February 14th was when it started on Valentine's Day, but it's going to go through the 28th, so you still have a couple of days, depending on when you're seeing this. Get on and vote for Slumberland. And if you vote in more than 25 categories, Lake News Online is going to enter you to win a $100 gift card. So
how about that?
Kind of cool. So on to high school sports. This is our sports segment. Don't have a whole lot to talk about. The big thing is high school wrestling state competitions are in the books. Man, Versailles had a couple of medalists. California had some competitors. Camdenton had a couple of competitors. Eldon had a couple that medaled. But the big winner through our local schools, Osage.
Really?
Zach Green took second place, lost in the state championship match at the 106-pound match. Ryan Sheepers won second place in the 152-pound class, losing in the state title match.
Wow.
And then Chase Cordia, state champion for 180 pounds.
All right.
Right here from School of the Osage. So congrats to all of our local high school wrestling teams. guys and girls. A lot of females wrestling out all these schools had some good results. Couldn't run through everybody, but I did happen to see 2 second place.
Yep.
You got Zach Green, 106 pound, took home the silver.
Pounds. Can you remember the last time you weighed 106 pounds?
Never mind. Ryan Sheepers, second place in 152 pounds, and state champion Chase Cordia at 180 pounds. Congratulations to all of our local wrestlers, especially those three. And then, of course, speaking of competitive high school sports, we've got our district tournaments.
Yeah.
If they haven't already started, they're starting this coming week. And for all of our local schools outside of Camdenton, Class 4 District 10 should be a good one, going to take place in Osage. You can see the bracket right there. And Chris and I are going to pick our bracket real quick. I'm taking Versailles over Eldon by 7 in the open.
I am too. Versailles getting better the second half of the season. They're really good this year.
They just beat Eldon Monday night in a game that was nearly tied at halftime. Versailles run away with it, won by about 25. And then the other open, Osage and Buffalo, I got the hometown Indians.
Yeah, I do too. I got Osage winning that one. So we've got both have Versailles and Osage winning the first round.
Fairgrove, I don't know a whole lot about. They've lost more games than most 2 seeds do. And then you have Osage. I got the Indians.
I do
upsetting
too.
the 2 seed, going on to the championship in Versailles. In California, the 1 versus the 4 seed. I got the Tigers.
I think I'm going to stick with California on that, but it could go either way. But California is the number 1 seed. I think they went like 20-3 or
really
something. They had a really good season.
Incredible season.
But Versailles, man, I tell you what, that Versailles team, if they catch fire, they could go to the Final Four.
So you got, you're not kidding, and I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
You've got California and Osage in the district championship. Who you taking?
California.
So you got Cali winning it all. I've got a rematch of Saturday's barn burner, Versailles and Osage, and I got the Versailles Tigers under the direction of Jason Allison, 96-90. I'll cry of joy either way, whether it's Coach E or Coach O. My 2 favorite local schools right there, Versailles and Osage. What a delight. And that'd be on my birthday, and I'd be sitting there watching that. That'd be my favorite game of the year.
All those games at Osage High, so that's great.
That's
man.
awesome.
Get over there and see it. That's great basketball.
And support your local schools, and especially School of the Osage. Really cool. They get to host districts. They rotate it. So it's a good year. For that particular district, Chris. I mean, you can't sleep on anybody, including Eldon in that first round. They had Versailles on the ropes Monday night, 34-32 at the half. And here's what I worry about for Versailles. You ran away with it in the second half. Now you're thinking, okay, our district opener, we beat them twice already. We got this. It's like, you can't sleep on those Eldon Mustangs, man.
No, they're getting better and better,
And in
too.
that game, I didn't tell you, but Casey, the freshman, he had his 5th foul with like 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Ooh. So they played the rest of the 4th quarter without their stud. So that made a
freshman
difference.
Gardner Casey.
He's unbelievable. All right, so as we look at upcoming events, of course, don't miss Captain Ron's open interviews on Saturday from 11 to 2. All kinds of events. I told you about it on my weekend event rundown. You can watch right after this. And then, of course, next week, welcome back Bobby Spice.
Yeah, twice as nice.
Twice as nice. Doesn't have lice, but tell you what, he's awful charismatic, and you can catch him on Weekend at the Lake Thursday through Sunday starting next week. All right, you ready for a little fun?
Sure.
All right, I got Fast 10. I want people to get to know Unky Chris just a little bit better. Don't think, just answer, okay?
Okay.
Don't be embarrassed. It's just you, me, Andrew, and Dave watching, okay?
Right.
All right, Uncle Chris, you get to know him a little better. Your favorite major, U.S. city.
I would have to say Dallas because I lived there for a long time.
You hate Dallas.
Yeah. Can't think of any. I mean, all the rest of them are going to crap.
That's true, and so is Dallas. Favorite movie of all time?
Probably. It's a Christmas movie. It's called November Christmas.
November Christmas.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up. Okay, so weirdest thing about you I don't already know.
I'm not weird, dude.
Yeah. He's not weird.
Nothing weird about me, man.
All right. Favorite U.S. president of all time?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Very good. Least favorite job you've ever had?
Let's see. What was it? Probably cleaning dishes in a restaurant.
I was just hoping you didn't say Lake TV. I was going to throw a fit. I was going to throw a fit right now. All right. So give me a guess. How many times you've been drunk in your life?
Oh, gosh. Probably maybe 10.
10?
Yeah.
Well, I would say, hell, that was me this month. Least favorite celebrity of all time?
Oh, wow. Gosh, there's a lot of them. All the liberal celebrities. Every one of them.
I just say LeBron James.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Best job you've ever had.
Best job, Lake TV, right?
I love it.
how
Don't
about
make me
that?
cry. Favorite dessert of all time, and you pick something that not everyone necessarily likes. Be ice cream, cake, pie, donuts. Heck, I don't care.
Oh man, I love pie. Cherry pie. Love
cherry
pie. Yeah.
Beautiful. And favorite TV series, and those are becoming more popular. So.
Oh yeah, favorite TV series. Probably The Big Bang Theory.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so as we wrap it up, big shout out to Jill Ray and her incredible crew. Don't miss Jessica Bruce on this week's Community Spotlight Show. For Uncle Chris, I'm Wild Will. We'll see you guys next week.